What's going on, everybody? I'm James Young with jamesyoung.io, and this is Teach Me How to Lightroom. Today, we're taking a look at how to make your images more cinematic using Lightroom, which means we're gonna take this image right here and then go boosh right there. Super duper cinematic. We're going super punchy with our colors, and the color grade is just insane. Now, if you want to follow along, you can download this exact raw file for free. The link is in the description so you can follow along. But hey, let's not waste any time. Let's reset this image and get right into it. Now, right off the bat, there's a couple of things that I want to do. The first thing is I need to increase the warmth. So here in temperature, for whatever reason, the camera on this drone registered the scene as pretty blue, and I disagree. Let's add some warmth back in here. We're gonna go about 9600 here. Much better. As we make our way through the basic panel, I'm gonna add a touch of exposure to this, maybe about a third stop or so. There we go. I'm not gonna add any contrast using this slider in particular, but we'll make our way down, and let's take our highlights down a little bit to about -70. Let's open our shadows up somewhere around +75 or so. We'll lower our whites a little bit to about -30. And we'll do the same with blacks, but -25 or so. Awesome. Now for our clarity, because this is a landscape image, I'm gonna push the clarity a little bit further than I normally would. Still not too far, but we're actually gonna go somewhere around +50 or so. There we go. So that does add some pretty cool contrast into the image, gives it a little bit of bite, but I wouldn't really recommend going like +100 or anything like that. So let's Command Z that, undo those changes. For our dehaze, we're gonna leave it as is. We're not gonna add anything there. For vibrance, we're gonna add just a touch of vibrance, maybe like +5. That's gonna give us an extra little punch with the colder tones in the image. With our saturation, we're just gonna come down a touch, about -10. There we go. That just lowers the bite a little bit of the image. Now with our tone curve, we're gonna get pretty fun here. Let's add a node on the right-hand side here. Then we're gonna add a node on the left-hand side, as well as a node in between the node that we just added and the middle, right about there. Very good. So let's start adjusting this here. And the tone curve is a great way to affect the contrast in the image. And with this image in particular, we're gonna go pretty muted on the blacks. So something around here. And then with our red, green, and blue, we're gonna add an S curve to these. So we're gonna make the contrast a lot higher in the reds. We're gonna make the contrast higher in the greens as well. As well as the blues, we're gonna increase our contrast here. There we go. And this is something that you're gonna wanna play with. I'm gonna play with this here a little bit here and kind of finesse it exactly the way that I want to. And then we're gonna go boosh. So there we go. That's kind of exactly where we wanna be here with this tone curve. Now this is gonna be purely up to you on how you wanna address this. So you can see kind of the curves I got here in the reds. The greens just kind of made that S curve a little more pronounced, as well as in the blues. And then there is our S curve that we created. Now let's scroll down and really get this color grade going. So the color is gonna be really where that cinematic look comes through. Let's scroll down and land at our HSL. That stands for our hue, our saturation, and luminance. Let's make some changes here. In the hue, we're gonna go +10 on our reds. Perfect. For our oranges, we're gonna go somewhere around -30. Yellows, we're gonna cut these down about -10. Now our greens, we're really taking these in the other direction here. We're going +100 to the right. With our aquas, gonna go around +80, +70 or so. Plus about 5 or 6 to our blues. +20 on our purples, and +30 on our magentas. Now this hue here, this really just changes the tonal quality of the particular color that we're sliding. And you can see here which color it's going to lean to. It's color coded for your convenience. So for our saturation, let's cut our reds down about -20. Let's cut our oranges down just a little bit too, somewhere around -15. Perfect. Let's go -25 or so on our yellows. Yeah, that makes that area look so much better. For our greens, we're gonna cut these down substantially, somewhere around -65, about -21 or so, 20, 21 on aqua, 21, about -30 on blues. We don't wanna completely obliterate the sky, but it is a bit much. And then -40, 45 on our purples and magentas. For our luminance, we're gonna add a little bit of red here, so about +5. The same is going to happen on our oranges. For yellows, we're gonna do about +10. For our greens, we're gonna come up somewhere around +40 or so. And then for our aquas, we're gonna go about +10, 15 on that as well. For blues, we're coming up about +25. For purples, about +15. And then we're leaving magenta exactly where it's at. We're gonna skip our split toning for this edit, and we're gonna go down to calibration. Now this is all the way down on the current version of Lightroom. This gives us a little bit more to play with the colors. Now check this out. For our shadows, we're gonna leave this where it's at. We're not gonna really mess with this too much. But for our reds, we're gonna go about +50, and we're gonna pump the saturation up quite a bit, somewhere around +40. For our greens, we're gonna do a similar thing, about +40 on that, but we're only adding a touch, just a touch, about +5. And then for our blues, we're going -55, boom, landed right on it, let's go. And then saturation about -5, so this is gonna give us that teal and orange kind of look and feel that is extremely cinematic. So for our color grade, that's exactly where we're going. This looks amazing in terms of like the colors and everything. Let's do a couple things that'll round out this image. I'm gonna do a post-crop vignette, about -5 or so on there. Very, very subtle. I'm also gonna scroll up to detail. I'm also gonna add a little bit of sharpening, somewhere around +70. And then for masking, I'm gonna hold down my option key on Mac and then slide over to the right here. And then it's gonna show you what exactly is being sharpened. So I'm gonna sharpen all the way to around like 80 or so. So that means this landscape, the bridge and things like that, that's gonna have some high sharpening to it, and the rest of it won't receive the sharpening. So a nice little trick. I'm also going to add some noise reduction here. So maybe about 30 or so. Good stuff. Now the next thing you could do to really set off that cinematic look, let's scroll up, and I'm going to hit my crop tool, and I'm gonna change the aspect ratio here where it says original. This is a drop down menu. I'm gonna change it to 16:9. Now that's where a lot of movies are filmed and projected on, is 16:9. You can also do 21:9. That's a little excessive, especially for this scene. So I'm gonna do 16:9, and holy crap, that looks really, really good. I'm gonna press F to go full screen here. Boom. It just fills the entire frame on a 16:9 monitor, which is probably what you're watching this on. So hey, did you learn something today? If you did, it would be awesome if you left a like. And if this is your first time watching one of the videos, it would also be cool if you subscribe to the channel. Well, hey, I'm James Young with jamesyoung.io, and this is Teach Me How to Lightroom.